I am Suniti Shrestahara, session chair for this plenary session in this morning. This morning we have two speakers, and we have one hour for this plenary session. First of all, I want to introduce both the speakers here, and then what I think is both of the speakers will get 20 minutes each for your presentation, and we will like to have the floor discussion and question answer session at the end of the both presentation. I request all the participants to post your questions or any queries in the chat box, please. And then please also, of course, you to tell the question goes to which speakers. So in that way, I think we can manage the time well. So welcome you all, and now I want to introduce the speakers. The first speaker is Dr. Pitana Purak Sakor. I hope I am perfectly right. Dr. Pitana is assistant professor at Faculty of Environment and Resource Studies, Mahidol University, Thailand. He earned his doctoral degree of engineering from Changwon National University, South Korea in 2015. He has more than a dozen international publications on his credit. He has long experience of teaching and research in various companies in Thailand and Japan. His topic for presentation today is agro-tourism-based energy model for mitigation of global warming. Our second speaker is Dr. Suresh Panthi. He is in Faculty of Environment and Resource Studies, and he is also the Foreign Research Fellow at Taikyo University Institute of Medical Biomycology, Tokyo. He earned his doctoral degree in biomedical science from Tokyo Medical and Dental University. He is a researcher with a proven knowledge of natural product biosynthesis, molecular biology, animal models for antibiotics development, and omics-based studies. He has outstanding publication records in high-impact journals with an H index of 13. His topic for today's presentation is COVID-19 infection and environmental fungi. So with this, I request the first speaker to start your presentation, and please, you will get 20 minutes for your presentation, and then we will go to the second speaker. And I ask our participants to put your queries in the chat box. And please, Dr. Pitana, the floor is yours.
Yes.
Please unmute, Doctor.
Okay, sorry. I forget to unmute the program. I did not show the background of the presentation conference. Is it okay?
You can share your screen now.
Let me find where it is, the function. From the current version, I don't know where to share. Normally, I use other way. Sorry about that. Share screen. Advanced sharing option.
Is it okay?
I don't know how to, sorry. So can I just present without the background?
Yeah. You have just checked your those slides. You can start your slides.
Okay. Okay, shall I start?
Yeah, sure. Your
So,
time started.
yeah. Good morning, everyone. Unsurprisingly, with the number of participants, it's even so early morning. I heard Nepali people work so early. Usually, I'm not, so a little excited. Welcome to my talk on the topic tourism based energy model for mitigation of global warming. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Kritana from Mahidol University. Let me start by giving you some background information. As you are aware, now the world is growing against the principles of sustainability. From 1970 to 2015, this is example of resource usage. Although there has been a widespread awareness of limited resources, but the acceleration of resources to grow GDP is likely to continue to increase. From our report from 1972, here the graph shows the model about the limits to growth. We can see that resources, red line, are predicted to be hugely consumed to the point where population, pollution, and other factors will have a downward trend, as well as the limits to growth. From my presentation on agri-tourism-based energy model for mitigation of global warming, I got the idea of the model from the conclusions of my research published last year on Untitled Comparative Carbon Footprint Assessment of Agricultural and Tourist Location in Thailand, which contains the information necessary for comparing agricultural and tourist location up to 91 pages in supplementary data. The asterisks in the table are the estimation from all the data and results obtained, but this is not what is present in the paper. I just estimated. Yes, yes. What happened?
So, can you
Excuse
just
me.
can you just share your screen?
Yeah, I shared the screen already. Is lost?
Yeah, we don't.
Sorry,
see
you did not. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, but I will not come back then. Sorry that you're missing my slide. I will share my slide later, and you can see from the slide. Thank you for reminding me. And the asterisk in the table are the estimation, but this is not present in my paper. The large number of asterisks mean there is a lot of that where we find the income of people in agricultural area is low, and agricultural areas have high amount of open burn, which produce in total a moderate of greenhouse gas. In contrast to in tourist area that will have a very high income, and the amount of greenhouse gases, greenhouse gas there is very high as well. Most of them, I mean, greenhouse gas come from energy consumption, but they are only scattered open burning from the household waste. An interesting result of the study is that for agri-tourist areas with moderate income and greenhouse gas emission, the value between agricultural area and tourist area, we found rare case of burning as well in the tourist area, because when most people in the community do tourist business, open burning would chase tourists and cut the channel of their own income, so they also not do any bad thing like that. So advantages from agri-tourist area compared to tourist area, especially for the model I'm presenting, it will be able to help increase clean areas, increase energy products, increase income, gain fresher food from reducing distance for food transport, cleaner air from reducing biomass open burning, and consequently less greenhouse gases from all the advantages aforementioned. I would like to introduce the examples in Thailand where the real experience that I have been visited by myself from almost the northern part, not northern most and southernmost of the country, Chiang Mai and Phuket. Not sure if you have ever visited, and central region Kanchanaburi. We also have one campus in Kanchanaburi from Mahidol University. This is Chiang Mai. That figure is me, and this is tea farm. Flower fields surrounding by farm, forests, and mountains. You can see the sky. That is not because of the darkness. That is because of the some smoke from burning. And Kanchanaburi coffee shop in light field near to the temple on the mountain, you can see the sky as well. Compared to the Phuket, I use the same camera at really same time, but you can see different. I did not use any function to adjust the figure, but this is the difference. I work in Phuket for 5 years, and in this figure, light field in the luxurious resort. These ideas are the same idea from these three agri tourist places. From their look, we can see the clear sky only in Phuket, right? And Chiang Mai, even for Thai people, it should be agri-tourist people, in our opinion. Why level of biomass burning in the area is high? The conclusion in my research is wrong or not that agri-tourists should not have high many place for biomass burning. From only a website, there are 60 recommended tourist spots for going to Chiang Mai. I just show you quickly 12 places good for visit in Chiang Mai. People thought Chiang Mai is a tourist province, but why we still have the problem very different to Phuket cases. This is a picture of a great forest fire in Chiang Mai. Not long ago, I thought this year, last year. Fire in Chiang Mai were caused by both weather and human by intention. There are cases where the culprit can be caused as well. This picture is taken from the official website of Chiang Mai province. Summary of tourist information. The important information that I would like to present is 2019 tourism income, which is not yet affected by COVID-19. Chiang Mai has a tourism income of 100,000 million baht, representing a quarter of Phuket tourism income. One US dollar is allowed 30 something baht. But when we come to see percentage of employed person by occupation 2019, most occupation of the people in the province is agriculture part. And the number is nearly 40% equivalent to other 12 sector in total. I mean the right hand side, 12 sector others. In conclusion, in addition to the income structure, percentage of employed person by occupation is another requirement to look at the type of the province. That's why we still have this problem, because most of the people, when 40% of the province are benefiting from open burning, the problem cannot be resolved. Consider the major sources of PM2.5 in Thailand, the four main regions of the country: central, north, northeast, southern. This four area from 6, the main cause are from forest fire and open burning. Of these, even in Bangkok, 32% in Bangkok is still also biomass burning. For example, one of the main plants in Thailand, which is sugarcane, there are efforts by government to stop burning, but according to the data from 2015 to 2019, we found that during the peak of the burning season, both burning amount and the PM2.5 contamination concentration were still significant at a health hazard level. Consolidating the agricultural waste of the whole of the country, the amount is around 34 million tons per year, but the usage of them is just a little. There have been many years of government effort, many measures, including providing machine or equipment or for treating agricultural residues, purchasing agricultural residue, subsidizing labor costs, setting rules, punishing the violators, etc. But there are limitations that make it not successful as it should be. The farmer or farm owners found that open burning brings greater benefit compared to the give collaboration to the government, or even with the intention of helping to stop burning. But due to a personal problem, even people want to help the government, support the government, due to a personal problem or political problems, some people come to burn their agricultural products. Weather also a cause contributor to forest fires, and in many areas that the government support machinery. The problem are the lack of skilled labor to use those machines, etc. The issue of the highest cost that will occur when will be the transportation of agricultural residue to be used in remote area of their own, which make it more wasteful. We get really low value of product. How come we can bring it to the center with the cost of transportation? Farming is also a seasonal income job. If we can, for my idea, if we can guarantee an annual income for farmer, give them a career, it will be easier to get collaboration. The model is that I propose is that we have to build a tourist attraction in the community, give them ownership or being an employee with income in various agent, in set up rule that will give them more compensation. If the community can reduce the combustion completely, we can provide extra compensation, or when they bring agricultural residue, if they can keep to the extraction we gonna provide for them, they can earn some more money, and all of this can be used for the energy products for sale, and they can earn the extra benefit from this as well. Money that will be used for this model is the original sum of the money that the government must support long-term reduction of incineration. We will not ask for more budget. We use the same amount of budget, but just ask them to change the way to pay. They just pay this activity once, but bigger amount of money to make some attraction. Then the local community should be managed by themselves, make longer period of income, and then the money that government have to pay for next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years will be deducted by this business. And but anyway, the limitation of this model, as it says, is it takes the first big money and for investment. And the leader of the tourism center must be very high level of management competence that will share, they have to share benefits appropriately and know the market, and can also make tourist attraction interesting, can attract, that place should be able to attract tourists the whole year to maintain the benefit. Or else this system also will be interrupted. And there are still issues with all tourism operator as well from a nearby business that is not supported by the government. This system requires administrative skill to show them, to explain them. When more tourists come to the area, everyone receives a common benefit. The key strategy of this model is measures. The measures are being the same with the 5 directions for circular business model. For 5 of these, you can see this is 5 directions for circular model. But the 2 I would like to emphasize, and that is a key strategy for my model, is we have to find measures to let the farmer bring agricultural residue to the center. When they come to work, if they can keep and they bring to the center, they can get some benefits. That is the way they don't feel like I bring low value of product to the long distance. And also they can get some pay for use back when they can utilize those agricultural products. This is the real case in Thailand. Actually, long ago, to increase the value of the straw in China province, they made the competition to for straw bird puppet. And this is a case in the Kanchanaburi. They have to train because it's gonna get old. So they find place for decoration of the straw, but this is just a little amount. So in Kanchanaburi, this is the case I showed you the picture. They try to decorate the place for the photo, but if we imagine we put this instead, we have the small unit of incinerator, make or some innovation, paint it into the briquette charcoal, or just utilize them directly as for tourist activities, or use any other agenda as a government agenda for BCG. So there are so many technology available, but I will not say it in this presentation because the focus is about my model. So if the key is to bring agricultural residues from the farm to the center, and we have so many technology to support. Imagine that if we have the farmer in the coffee shop, I think this is more interesting, and we can have more local labor instead of forcing them to go to the capitals to work there, to Bangkok, and it is too crowded. Why in that area no people? So not only for the product for burning, other products also can be counted for the consideration of sustainable energy, like organic fertilizer. You can see from my paper long ago, 20 years ago, when we utilize the product from agricultural system as anything, if we can consider the product, the energy consumed to make it, we can count it as the energy gain back when we can make use of them. The example is when the seed cake is used as fertilizer, seed cake is used as fuel stock. This is in terms of energy consideration. But this seed cake as fertilizer can provide some benefit in other dimensions. So we have to consider in every dimension. But I just want to tell that for talking about sustainable energy, we don't need to just focus on getting some energy products for burning only. And according to government plan on BCG, they want to reduce greenhouse gas. They have the target, but the target is in the some number from the whole plan. But only this plan for community based, they did not mention about greenhouse gas reduction, but they aim to increase the value, the GDP, 230,000 million baht a year to 18,000 villages, and they will give money to like 1 or 2 million baht. Sorry for the baht, I made the wrong word. Baht per village. I think this is a good idea, but the focus is still only agriculture. I just want to add something. Merge them together, each village. Give them some attraction, some sightseeing spot. Invest more money. We use the same amount of money, but just merge them together into the place and let them manage by themselves. So the money, bigger value has a bigger power. So let them do the business as the model I suggest. So in one sub-district, they can gain 5 to 15 million baht. They can invest to make some sustainable business for long run. So almost the end, I would like to give the credit of this model to Mr. Sontaya, the local farmer in Phuket province. They are just a farmer at first, and they feel like people around me, from the attitude of the investor, allow him in the province, because in Phuket, most of people doing some tourist business. So he finds some benefit from changing his career to become the business owner. So he makes some cooperation among people in the community and get support from this land also, not only his one, but he asked the corporation to merge them together for the tourists. When tourists come, tourists can visit so many small business in the community. So it is like even Phuket is for the coastal sightseeing, but many people come to his area not for the watching playing the seawater. So with his idea, he emphasized not only the sightseeing but local food, and he gained so many awards from the government to promote. I think this idea should be distributed to many areas in Thailand or many areas worldwide to increase the income, because we in Thailand long ago we are agricultural country, and now we still agricultural country, and we still have be count as developing country. So not only me, my group, many other people, I get picture from Mr. Santiya, and many visitors come and let them get more income while they still have the same amount of money from the farming. So they have added value from making new line of business. Whatever my model would not be able to for the success, I would like to show the budget, government budget next year, like feel embarrassing. Uh, the money part for the environment is cut to 15%. But I hope that for the model of BCG I just present, it should be in the part of economy. So it is kind of replaceable. So almost this is the last page. I want to show the change of the land use in Phuket from 2000 to 2015. I mean 20 years. 2018. Sorry. Left hand side is the settlements, and the right hand side is the green area. You can see that for 20 years in Phuket, that can make money like a 400,000 million baht a year. For 20 years, they have more settlement areas, but for the green area, they still can keep it. They can keep them. That to my opinion, there are so many other issues as well. And so they have to solve, but only these two consideration, we can see that Phuket can develop their province sustainably. So I think to promote the business, the economy using the tourism in Phuket now, they have to enhance the level of tourists to gain more income using the concept of medical tourism. So they're gonna go further step, but other countries still be just agricultural area gaining very low income. I just want to emphasize that not only Phuket, for any country that put everything on just one area, Phuket is the main economy is tourism, but tourism should not be just Phuket in Thailand. It should be everywhere, a bit more and more. I'm not sure if I speak too fast. I already finished. And welcome for any question, and hope you get some idea from my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Kirtana. It was really nice to complete your presentation on time, and your presentation was really very nice, and it's timely, because we think agriculture is the basic thing that every country needs to do. No matter how much you develop in industry, agriculture always comes first, because this gives you the basic needs. And the work you have done, the models that you have suggested, it was really nice. And I think we have a similar problem in Nepal and other South Asian countries also. So thank you very much for your mind-blowing presentation. Thank you. We will do the next session, the next presentation, and then we will do the floor discussion at the end. Okay, Dr. Kirtana?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Suresh Panthi for your presentation, and please, you have 20 minutes, and then we will have the floor discussion for both presentation. And again, I request all the participants to put your question on the chat box. Thank you. Dr. Suresh Panthi, please. Kirtana, you can, yeah, okay, good. Sir, where are you, Suresh, sir?
So I'm trying to share my screen. So can you see?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Good morning. And so the talk for today from my side is COVID-19 infection and environmental fungi. I think by now, many of you know about the COVID-19. I think all of you know about it. And because I came across this conference And I came to know that many of you are working on environmental related issues. And I thought if I can give you some information about the environmental fungus that is now rampant in India and Nepal, and that will be great for me. So I selected this topic. And before going to the detail of the talk, let me explain you the historical development of COVID-19 in Nepal. I think we have just passed one and a half year, maybe less than 1.5 years with COVID-19, but I would like to say history. With all the time gone, we all have been staying at home or from our work, and then it looks like a history to me. In January 23, 2020, we diagnosed our first case on a person coming from Wuhan. And this guy recovered on February 6. And from January 23 to March 23, we had a kind of no cases, or kind of, I would prefer to say a break. We got a 2 months break. March 23, we got a new case on a person who came from France. And March 25, we got a new case on the person who came from UAE. And March 27, another one who came from UAE. So after the 2 months gap, we started to get infrequent cases. And that was too in the returnees, so imported cases. But the situation started to change on April 4, when we first saw the case that there was a local transmission. So from a person in Nepal, it transferred to a person in Nepal. So then I think our catastrophe started. So if we saw the initial cases here, how Nepal responded is like on March 19, Nepal closed its schools. And then on March 23, when we diagnosed the second case, the government decided to close the border and national level lockdown was ensued, starting March 24. But we can see that the number of cases started to increase. And until the 150th day after the first case, so we saw that there are about 10,000 cases and 23 deaths. And if we continue this perspective, what happened? When we analyze the situation between day 50 to day 200, we saw that there are three things that increased. Number of cases, this line increased. Number of recoveries, this line increased, and number of deaths increased. But with this, there was one thing that decreased, is this gap. Number of cases and number of recovery, the gap between number of cases and number of recoveries increased. Decreased. This gap decreased. So this actually made people relaxed or complacent. And then what is now today is like this. So the previous slides I saw you is around up to here. Previous data. So number of cases, the red line, number of active cases, total number of patients at present is here. So I showed the data up to here when there were about 10,000 cases. But now we have a total of 542,000 cases as of day before yesterday, and 100,000 active cases. So this means that the COVID is still increasing. And another point I want to focus on this one is, I would prefer to say the current situation as the third wave. Many people say this as a second wave, but I prefer to say this as a third wave, because we ended our first wave in July. We can see here. And I consider this one as second wave, and third wave is here. And why this happened? Did we forget that COVID is such a serious disease? Because we just came across that our cases started to decline, and did we forget about it? That could be one point. Another point is the generation of new variant. So we know this is a RNA virus, and the total number of sequences in this COVID virus is about 30,000 base pair. And if there is a change in any of those 30,000 base pair, this virus will change its character. So we can see that there are about, so if you can see this clearly, this ORF1A, 1B, S, 3A, M, these are proteins. And these proteins will change. If there is a single change in among those 30,000 base pair, the protein will change. And if a protein changes itself, its function will change. And if the function is changed, its pathogenicity will increase, in one sense. In another sense, there is a possibility that pathogenicity will decrease too, depending on what kind of function of the new protein is. If there is one change, there will be a new protein, and that new protein will have new function. So depending on the function, the pathogenicity of the virus will change. So in this figure, you can see that, so the major point of mutation. So in ORF1A gene, there are several point of mutations, and 1B, there are relatively few compared to ORF1A. But my interesting topic is around here. So you can see that even such a small region, there are so many mutations ongoing. And among them, so the variant, a total of 80 plus mutants from the SARS-CoV-2 variant of concern. And I was very surprised to see yesterday that these Acrobi systems, they have all the mutants, they have the protein of all the mutants. And the interesting or the successful mutants are in India, B.1.617, in South Africa, B.1.351, and UK B1.1.7, Brazil has B.1, and there is another California. These variants have proved themselves to be successful. And what's the situation in South Asia? Oh, sorry, in Asia.
Suresh sir, can I interrupt?
Yes.
Can you make this slide full page? This slide, can you make it in the full page?
So okay, so maybe I am sharing a different screen. Wait.
If it is possible. Otherwise, it's okay.
No, it should. Okay, I'll screen share again. Wait.
Yes.
So is it okay now?
Yeah, I thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Okay. So we were here.
Yeah.
So if the virus has one mutation, there will be change in protein function. Depending on the protein function, it will be hypervirulent or less virulent. Okay. And recently, what's happening in Asia is the incidence of B.1.617 is increasing. So this means the Indian variant is increasing. You can see that. So from 2020 November to the recent data, you can see B.1.617 variant is like this. However, B.1.1.7, this is UK variant. So this is relatively decreasing now. And as you can see that from the color in this map, so this variant has spread all over Asia by now. And did it happen to Nepal? So I had a chance to discuss with reporters from CNN and Voice of America, where I said that Nepal grew complacent after avoiding a catastrophic outbreak. We had a very serious situation. So I still say that on 2020 in July, we came across the first wave. And then about October 2020, we passed the second wave, and now we have the third wave. But if you compare between the Nepal and India cases, total number of cases is so total number of cases would be higher in India because population is higher. But if we assign or if we consider that the per million people. So we are having much severe situation than India. First, the cases in India increase, and then cases in India start to decrease. But cases in Nepal still start to increase because our management is, I consider our management relatively poorer than India, what India is doing. And so is the death. Number of deaths per people, assigned per people, per million people is higher in Nepal. So the reason is we should have learned from the UK and Brazil how it is difficult to manage the rapidly growing variants. And we should have overseen the situation, but we did not. But when India started increasing number of cases, we should have been vigilant that there is something, even if we don't know the variant, we should have thought there is something, and we should have managed the border, but we did not. So now we are paying the price of that in Nepal. So this is the situation of overall situation of COVID-19 in Nepal, present situation, and why we have the increased number of cases. Next, let me go to the fungus story. So before going to the fungus story, I need to explain you how COVID-19 is managed, or basically the guideline from Nepal Medical Council, how COVID-19 is managed. So in October 2020, the statement from Nepal Medical Council was, we recommend against using dexamethasone for treatment of moderate COVID-19. So dexamethasone is the steroid. But with the development in global knowledge about how, as the cases progressed, we knew about how to manage the situation. And with the knowledge, we finally came to the conclusion in May 2021 that even milder moderate cases of home or institutional isolation should get steroid if SpO2, oxygen saturation, is around 93 to 94%. But it comes with a price. This will help the recovery of the patient, definitely. But it comes with a price, because side effect of the steroid therapy is increased risk of infection, especially with common bacterial, viral, and fungal microorganisms. So if there is some common, even by general bacteria, viral, or fungi, it will infect because steroids has the known side effects. So based on this, I assume that the environment, the fungus in the environment is causing the infection. That's everywhere. And when you have the COVID-19 and reduced immunity, and especially when you give the corticosteroid, and then it gains its place. So mucormycosis. So this is the black fungus that we are hearing about, and this affects the COVID-19 patient. Mucor is a fungus of the family order Mucorales and family Mucoraceae. And interesting thing is mucors are found everywhere. And they are responsible for initiating and decaying of most organic material. And mucormycosis caused by mucor is actually rare. It is considered rare, but potentially or deadly fungal infection. If we consider about except from the COVID patient, there is high mortality. Overall, if infected with mucor, the death rate is 60%. And if it is related to gastrointestinal infection, death rate is 85%. If it goes to blood, 96%. So there is high chance of mortality. The reason is this mucor is resistant to antifungal agents. And based on this, I was interested to find, is there mucor in the environment, or how frequent is the isolation of mucor? And is mucor really more pathogenic? I identified mucor and tested the pathogenicity using silkworm infection model. And I found that this blue line, mucor, is around 50 times higher in terms of pathogenicity compared to Candida, this black line. And so far, I have found 4 strains of new mucor. We can see that, I'm not sure if you can read it, but here I have highlighted. So we have found 4 strains of new mucor. So they grow. Another interesting feature of these mucor, they grow differently in different environments. So anaerobic, they grow like this. In aerobic, they grow like this. So the mucor has a diverse growth and ability to cause infection in immunocompromised patient, and especially in COVID patient. When we have the corticosteroid treatment, they will cause opportunistic infection. Next, I was interested to see the genome of this mucor. How is it? So I will not discuss in the detail about the genomic properties of mucor that I sequenced, but I want to show that I sequenced this mucor using a portable sequencer. This is like the size of this sequencer is like a cell phone. So this is such a small sequencer, but very powerful. And then I sequenced this mucor using the previously, I published a paper in 2018, the hybrid genome assembly approach. I sequenced using this one. And I found that the genome size of this mucor is about 35 megabase, and I could assemble 95 contigs. And interestingly, the protein coding genes were about 13,000. And among those 13,000, if we compare the protein coding genes among this new mucor with the mucors previously sequenced, so we can see that a new mucor strain 1 shares the less number of proteins with another mucor. So this means this has this could have very large number of unknown or uncharacterized proteins. So with the widespread presence of this new species of black fungus in the environment, measures are required to protect COVID patient from its infection, especially in the developing countries like in Nepal and India. So finally, how we can fight this kind of situation is we need to fight COVID. And from my point of view, we have two approaches. One is prevention, another is treatment. So in prevention, we have vaccination. I think we all know. And another one is like, if we can restrict the entry of this virus to our body, washing hands, using sanitizers or social distancing or using masks, we can do that. But in case we are infected, so there is a supportive therapy. And I think people are still debating in the use of convalescent plasma or antivirals are still available. And how we can do, I think we should use the very simple measures. Wash your hands, as much as possible, use teleworking, use masks, don't gather inside, let's play outside, social distancing. And I think we all know this. We all know this one, but I wonder how many of we are practicing this or how many of we are doing this. So with this, what I say is like, if we stay home and stay away from this virus, we might overcome, or we will successfully overcome this situation. And once we overcome, we can restart our things again. So with this, thank you all, and I will be happy to answer any questions if you have, and stay safe. So thank you.
Thank you, Suresh Panti sir. Very, very nice presentation, excellent presentation. Can you take your share, this slide share? Okay, and this presentation was really the concern of everybody nowadays, everywhere in the world, and especially in Nepal also. Now we have a question and answers. There are some questions coming in the chat box. I have one question to Suresh Panti sir. After all these measures, all these preventive measures and all these treatments, is it possible to have full eradication of all these problems like corona and black fungus or something? Is it possible? Sir, your screen share nikam na, Suresh sir?
Ajay aira cha?
Yeah, Ajay aira cha. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
one question, and then we will go to the chat box. Yeah, we have some.
Okay. So my answer is I'm not sure about the black fungus, because black fungus story is like, it is widely present in nature. So we cannot overcome the black fungus story. This is like another general bacteria. So once we have the reduced immunity, black fungus will come. But talking about the COVID, in my opinion, it's possible to eradicate. Once we completely break the chain, there will be no new thing in the existing, because this is a virus. It cannot exist itself in the environment. It cannot. It needs someone to exist. So if it goes into the host, it will kill the host and it start to remain viable. But if it has no host, it will die. But if we talk about the mucor story or black fungus, it can exist itself without host. So eradicating mucor is not possible, but eradicating COVID is possible.
Okay. Thank you, Suresh sir. There is one question to Kritana. Dr. Kritana, are you there? Yeah, there is one question in the chat box. The question is,
Yes.
How global warming and climate change directly affects the economy? What strategies we can apply to replace carbon product technologies? It's from Hari Bahadur Khatri Chetri. It is in the chat box.
Yes, thank you for the question. Global warming and climate change affects the economy in various ways. I will keep my answer in the scope of my presentation. Then you can see the impact of COVID to tourism, right? Now, pocket group of rich people is nearly dead. This is harsh word, but true. Since they rely only tourism, while now we people can move to other areas due to lockdown command. No foreign tourists, where tourists we can call the only main source of income have been in area for over a year. In opposite way, for agriculture that extremely rely on weather, climate change can cause sudden reductions in agricultural productivity. My point is that we should not develop areas like factories. This area is for only one function because this is a policy like that. In my country, we have a wisdom word so-called sufficiency economy. In one area, which they should have many functions and survive from any new challenges. So even reductions in agricultural productivity happen suddenly. Farmers can survive because they have other businesses to support. And the other or about strategy we can apply to replace, right? That is in my presentation. We should be able to employ to apply to utilize all the waste. That is the only way, because we cannot stop making money, we cannot stop people activities. So whatever that we can have some innovative idea to make use of the waste, that should be the choice people right now can imagine, or else we will not just say circular economy globally. That is my question.
Okay. Thank you, Ketan. There is some questions to Suresh sir. These are all related with fungi. So I think I will tell you all the questions, then you can answer to all.
Okay.
How the fungus transmit around, or the mode of transmission? Those are the questions I think you can answer in the one. How long is there the risk of black fungus after the intake of steroids? And in which area in the environment are these black fungus most commonly found? These are the questions you can talk about.
So, okay. So how these fungi transmit around, or what's the mode of transmission? So these fungus had to need to have a direct contact with your body. And in some situation, even in our body, I mean, in our skin, it is like staying as a commensal. It is there, but it causes nothing when you have a strong immunity. But when your immunity is gone or immunity is down, it will start to invade. So this is the thing. So it needs to have the physical contact. About the transmission for this one. Next point is, how long is the risk of black fungus after the intake of steroids? So I don't have a clear answer for this one, but basic idea is, as long as you are taking the steroid or your immunity is down, so there is a risk for this one. And next point is, in what area in the environment are these black fungi most commonly found? So we have not done the extensive mapping of which part of the environment they are found. But I found 4 new muco-related species in plant materials when we took the leaves and started the isolation of fungus from this one. They were found to be black fungus. So I found in the leaf. But basically, they start in the decaying organic material.
Some more small questions.
And another one was Neeraj case. What is the mortality percentage due to the fungus in world and around Nepal? So as I told previously, in general, the mortality is 60%. And if it is gastrointestinal, around 80%, 85%. And if it goes to blood, 96%. So this one is about globally, but in the case of Nepal, there is no specific data for this one. And next point is, can you guarantee that the vaccinated people? Oh, no. Answer is no. Can you guarantee that the vaccinated people do not get COVID? Answer is no. You will get COVID. But the thing is, the vaccine will help you to get the symptoms less severe. It is not that you will not get COVID or you will not transmit COVID. You will get COVID even if you are vaccinated twice. And then it's possible that those people can transmit, but the symptoms for those people will be less severe. So there is a higher chance that you will survive. So another one, what is the possibility of transmission of this huge number of 80 mutations one by one? However, there are mainly 5 mutations are being transmitted during this time. So this is like one mutation makes the virus different. And difference could be good for the virus or bad for the virus. It could be highly infecting or less infecting. So if it is less infecting, it will go away. If it is highly infecting, it will start to continue. So this is the thing. So I think this is that. So next, what is the time period COVID patients do not again be infected by COVID? Has it been proven? So I cannot say very clearly about this one because I'm not a doctor for this one. But there is some time that once you are infected with COVID and you recover, there is some time that you will be not infected to this one because there will be some immunity in this one. But there is no clear evidence. So far I know, and I'm not so a clinical doctor to comment on this one. Okay. Next one, I think that's all. And there's one personal direct message to me from Amrit Dakal. Okay, just thank you. Okay, thank you. These are the questions here.
Okay, thank you, sir. So thank you, Ketana and Dr. Suresh, sir. Thank you very much for your presentation and answering the queries of all the participants. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you all the participants also for your patience and your active participation. Thank you all.
Okay, and thank you very much.
After this,
thank you very much.
The first plenary session is announced to be closed here. Thank you. And now we will go to another parallel sessions. Thank you very much.